What's up, everybody? Y'all see me playing around with the camera. Y'all let me know if do I look blurry? Am I in focus? I don't think so. Hold on. Should be good right now, right? There we go. I think we good. What's happening, good people? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement. It's been a while. I didn't get to a show last week. My bad, guys. Had some things pop up. And as you can see, I am late tonight. It is 9 p.m. It is not 8 p.m. And I will explain that to you guys here in just a moment. But first and foremost, I want to say happy 2025th season to Steeler Nation. This is probably going to be an interesting ride. I could imagine. Hold on, guys. Let me make sure my levels are okay. Yep. Testing. Okay, I think we good. This is going to be an interesting ride. Yes, ride with the roll of the R. Ride. It's going to be an interesting ride. And for obvious reasons, and I'll talk a little bit about that before I get into the one small topic that I have for tonight. This should be a very short show. I only have one thing to talk about, and I will, of course, reply to some of you guys, some of the things that you guys may have in the chat. I see you, CT. It's coming. Stay tuned. It's coming. I got some games in the clip. And I will be doing, I should be getting to another stream or two perhaps this week. So stay tuned, brother. Let's say hello to the early commenters like we always do. Welcome, my family. My man, Mark Cunningham is in the building. Crazy Ron Gaming is in the building. Again, I already spoke your name, but CT Pittman, my man, is in the building. My guy, Steeler Cards, is in the building. Oh, Mr. Winningham, our guy. Mr. Winningham is in the building. And again, guys, I told y'all, and I'm standing on this promise. Before the season starts, we will be talking again. We will be talking again before the season starts. I had planned to just give in and go with one of those options that I didn't prefer. But then I saw something else that might be what I'm looking for. So I'm just making sure first. But either way, even if we got to go to Google, even if we got to do Zoom or Zoom link or whatever, don't worry. The ability for us to talk to each other, one another, will be returning before the season starts, preferably sometime during preseason, but it will be returning because we miss hearing from guys like Mr. Winningham. We definitely miss that. Lanisha, the lovely Lanisha in the building. Hello, Lanisha. How you doing? You guys know the routine, man. Say hello to our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation. Treat them with care and roll out the red carpet for them. So everyone, please say hello to Lanisha and any of our other special ladies that might be in the building. Kev So Fun is in the building. My good brother Kenyon in the building. Who else is in here, man? G Stacks 434 is in the building. He says, Sim, been a minute. Glad to see you still hustling. Yeah, man. Everyday hustling, man. Words of Rick Ross. So let's get to it. The reason why I say it's going to be a bumpy ride, let me just talk about that briefly. An interesting ride. I am very interested to see, what Aaron Rodgers will or won't be. I'm going to say both. I'm interested in seeing what he will be and what he won't be. The reason why I say I'm interested, of course, if Aaron Rodgers can play a healthy brand of football, and I'm talking about healthy from a health standpoint, but also healthy in terms of healthy offense, right? Meaning that it's a nice, solid, above average offense. If Aaron Rodgers can produce that type of offense, then it's going to be an interesting ride for the Pittsburgh Steelers because I do believe even without Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Steelers defense will find a way to make things happen. I mean, even now people around the league are even saying the Steelers might have the best front in the game. And it's kind of hard to argue that, right? It's kind of hard to argue that when you, of course, start with TJ Watt. And I'm going to start with another guy after TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, the leader of the pack, the veteran, the old veteran that's still just trying to get through a couple more years, played great last year. Alex Highsmith, we know what he brings to the table. A Keanu Benton that seems to be trending upward, but then also Harmon. Harmon might be one of these guys that come in and contributes greatly right away. Nick Herbig. 3-man rotation. And then you got another guy who might turn into be something, maybe not so much in his first season, Jack Sawyer. So if you just look at the depth in terms of guys who would be rushing the passer and interior D linemen, yeah. I can see why some people are saying the Steelers might have one of the best fronts in the league. So I say that to say this, man, the defense, I believe, will do enough to keep the Steelers competitive. So if we have any glimmer of offense, above average offense, it's going to be interesting to see what Aaron Rodgers will do. Now let's talk about the flip side. I'm also interested to see what will happen if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play well. Is it Mason Rudolph that takes the reins? Is it a kid like Will Howard that could be quietly making a name for himself? We're going to see. We are definitely going to see. So that's why I say it's going to be an interesting ride, guys, because either way you see it, however it goes, it's going to be interesting because there's question marks if the Steelers do good or if they're not doing so good. So that's why I'm just saying, hey, 2025, I'm interested to see what's going to happen largely. So that's why I opened it up that way. But now let's talk about, guys, my main topic here. And this is my only topic of the night. And like I said, I will explain to you guys here momentarily, man, why Terrible Towel Tuesday is happening at 9 p.m. I will give you that information here in just a moment. Hold on, guys. I'm just checking one other thing. Hold on. Checking something really quick. All right, here we go. So I'm completely freestyling this topic. I wanted you guys to see my thought process in real time. So when I thought about it, I said, you know what? Don't even think about it. Just go on the show and cut the camera on and see what comes to your mind. And maybe some of the things that I say might have you guys saying something. So let's get into it. The title was Steelers' first day in pads will be tomorrow. And what are you looking for? The reason I came up with that topic is because I thought tonight's show was going to be the Steelers had their first day in pads. What did we learn? That was going to be my title, but as you guys know, practice got moved indoors due to weather, and the Steelers did not put pads on. Pads will come on tomorrow. So now I am flipping the script, and I'm saying, okay, knowing that pads will come on tomorrow, what are we looking for? But more importantly, what matchups are you looking forward to seeing? So I'm going to freestyle this. Of course, and doesn't take a genius to figure out the very first thing I'm looking forward to hearing is backs on backers. Very interested in seeing what's going to happen with backs and on backers for several reasons. I want to see what Caleb brings to the table. I think that boy Caleb, yeah. I want to see what type of physicality he has. And not only that, I mean, I watched his film. Of course, we watched Caleb Johnson's film. However, what I'm interested in seeing is how he looks in a situation like that because of pass pro. You know, he has even alluded to the fact that he definitely wants to work on his pass protection. He's making a concerted effort to do so. So obviously, I want to see how he fares in backs on backers. Now, you know, what we've heard over the years, guys, is some of these drills are skewed to one team, you know, one side of the ball. I get that, but again, you can still learn from just watching or hearing about the contest. And shout outs to Alex Kazor. I'm telling you right now, if you guys are not following Steelers Depot and paying attention to Alex Kazor during this time of the year, I don't know what to tell you. There is no one else, to my knowledge. I could be wrong. If I am, you guys give me some suggestions. But in my opinion, there is nobody else that covers Steelers training camp with the plethora of information that is provided better than Steelers Depot. And Alex Kazor is live on site. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen there. Not only just Caleb Johnson, Jack Sawyer. I want to see how aggressive he is in a situation like that. He's talking about he's been itching to put the pads on. I want to see guys like Peyton Wilson, you know, in his second season and what kind of fire he might bring to the table. You know, guys like that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And also see what we hear about the Bruner kid. Can't remember his first name right now. My apologies, Bruner, but Mark Bruner's son. Is it Corey? I think it's Corey. Is it Corey Bruner? Or Kobe Bruner? Something like that. And you guys give me the name. I know y'all fact check that. But yeah, I'm interested to see what he brings to the table. Because again, you know, a little further on the depth chart coming in, you know, he's going to have to earn his money and make his way on special teams. So what a great opportunity to show what you can do in the NFL than to have some success with backs on backers. Carson. All right, thank you guys. Carson, I knew it was a C. I just couldn't remember his name, so appreciate that, Steeler King. And yeah, outside of that, man, I mean, everybody else is status quo. You know, it's not so much I'm going to learn from too many others. I mean, Jaylen Warren is going to be Jaylen Warren. We know Jaylen Warren. He is good in pass protection, and he is a load, even though he's a shorter stature guy. That dude is a stout, stocky, like, come on, man. And we've, some of you guys, maybe y'all haven't, but I've seen some of his workouts so far in the summer. We know what he's going to bring to the table. So I'm not going to learn much more from guys like that. Also, what else do I want to see? Again, I'm freestyling. I want to see some Jalen Ramsey matched up against DK Metcalf, as well as Joey Porter matched up against DK Metcalf with pads on. I want to see these guys in live game action. I'm interested in seeing what all Jalen Ramsey still has in the toolkit. I know Jalen Ramsey is still a physical guy. He's been physical since I first was made aware of him watching my lovely Florida State Seminoles. Hard to watch them last year. Yes, I know. But I've been aware of what Jalen Ramsey was the same way I was with, what's my boy? Why can't I remember his name now? Y'all know who I'm talking about, the safety, man, for the Chargers. Those guys, Derwin James, like just watching those dudes in college, man, and just seeing them seeing those guys play the way they played in college and the NFL is always special to me when a guy can do that. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like sometimes players come into the NFL and they don't necessarily, or they can't necessarily play the style that they play. You know what I mean? But these dudes had pretty much played how they played in college. That physicality and that freakish ability, you know? So I'm interested to see what Jalen Ramsey still has at that level. Also, I'm interested to see if Jalen Ramsey is playing in the slot. You know, in some of these 7-on-7 situations, the Friday Night Lights, those situations where it's, you know, team on team. I'm interested to see what Jalen Ramsey looks like, his physicality as well as his, you know, his football IQ and ball skills. What else? Harmon. I'm interested to see what Harmon does in these team situations. Again, I think this is a guy that's going to come in and contribute right away. So I'm very interested to hear what he can do and what he does in these team situations. On the other side of the ball, I want to know how Broderick Jones is doing. You know, there was a report that came out from Mark Caboli. Shout outs to Caboli. You guys, if you're still a fan, you should probably know who Mark Caboli is. And they're not really speaking highly of Broderick Jones, kind of saying that he seems to be coming out of his stance a little slow and things of that nature. Listen, he has not played left tackle since Georgia, right? It might take a little bit of time to readjust back to his natural position. So I'm not going to be one of those people, and I can guarantee you, Still the Nation is going to do this. If he struggles early, people are going to be calling him a bust and all of that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But at the same time, I do want to see where he's at currently as a left tackle. That's fair. Not too concerned about Fautano. The only thing I would be concerned about there is how is he post-injury, right? But skill set, you know, he basically proved himself early on last season before he got injured, where they was talking about this kid might be the best lineman we had on the roster. I'm interested to see where he is now. Hopefully he stays healthy, because oh man, we got cut short with that, being able to see what he has to bring to the table. What else do I want to see? Yeah, definitely, Lanisha. Yeah, and Broderick he's dealing with a little something right now. Tomlin did say he expects him to be back at practice, I believe, tomorrow. But hold on. Round of applause, man, to C.T. Pittman for the Wonder Bread. We got to take a break. Thank you so much, brother. Whoa. Boy, C.T. Pittman talking right here. He says, they're looking for someone to truly replace Tuitt. Harmon might be that guy. Man, do y'all remember Stephon Tuitt? I'm not talking about in totality, because he battled injuries too. I'm talking about when Tuitt was his best. Do y'all remember Tuitt's last season? Do y'all remember that game at San Francisco? Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that game? If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was against the Niners that year. Holy moly. Stephon Tuitt was balling. And he was truly showing us all that he could be. Just think about when Tuitt, healthy Tuitt, how good he was. Y'all remember? Like seriously, don't just remember the negative stuff that you may felt, or, you know, how you may felt about him leaving and, you know, him retiring or what have you. I'm just talking about, remember Tuitt when Tuitt was do it to it. That guy. Man. Tuitt was a real problem, brother. And like I said, I think Kenyon, I'm sure, recalls that, man. We talked about that often, that performance he put on that year against the Niners. And I remember saying, man, if he could have just stayed healthy, that was some of the best Tuitt we had seen. So I definitely agree with that, CT. Man, if we could get a guy up front to compliment Cam like that. You know, unfortunately, you know, it's in Cam's last days. But man, we need a guy like that in the short term to compliment Cam Hayward, and in the long term to take that spot, to be that new dog that sets the tone on the D line. So yeah, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Yeah. Who else was I talking about, guys? I talked about backs on backers, DK, Jalen, Joy Porter. Not sure we'll see a whole lot of it, but I am interested to see what type of offense they're running in camp. I am interested to see Aaron Rodgers with the bullets flying, even though, you know, he can't be hit. But again, pressure will still hurry you up, whether they can hit you or not. Who else am I looking forward to? Guys like Y.A. Black. I'm interested to see how he does in team settings. You know, how's he gonna do in team settings? You know, can he be what was big? Can he be the new Dan McCullers? That's a name some of y'all are probably like, whoa. What I mean by the new Dan McCullers, can he be what we hoped Dan McCullers was going to be for us? Can he be what a lot of people in Steeler Nation, I'm going to say another name, when he was coming out of the draft, a lot of people in Steeler Nation wanted the Steelers to draft Andrew Billings. Y'all remember that? Because of what y'all thought he could be in the middle of the defense. Can Y.A. Black be that type of guy? Not highly drafted, but just one of them. Can he be our Brett Kiesel, if you will? Some of these guys that weren't drafted high, or some dudes on the team that weren't drafted at all, that the Aaron Smiths of the world, like, you know, those guys who, like I said, were either late drafted or undrafted, and they turned out to be contributors and then turned into something like cornerstone pieces. Could Y.A. Black make a name for himself? Perfect timing, right? After just watching what the Philadelphia Eagles did, how they had built that defensive line. And actually, let's take back what I said earlier when I said the Steelers may have the best. It's hard to not put the Eagles in that situation, in that conversation. Now, I don't know if the Eagles still have all their pieces. I would assume so, but it's hard not to put the Eagles in that conversation just because of what their big guys can do up front as being one of the best defensive lines in the game. So again, can Y.A. Black have that type of impact? So I want to see what this dude is in the NFL. Other than that, guys, I mean, like I said, everybody else is status quo. You know, the Deshaun Elliott's are going to be Deshaun Elliott. Oh, can't forget this. I want to see who we tried out there at safety. Legit, right? Because, you know, it's been some talk about, you know, what's been put on the field already in shorts. But when the pads come on, I think that's more so shaping up to be who's going to be on the field. You remember, guys, a few days back, Mike Tomlin said that, you know, you can almost anticipate Joy Porter, Darius Slay, and Jalen Ramsey being on the field at the same time at all times. What does that mean? Does that mean that Jalen Ramsey officially will be in the slot, or Slay officially in the slot? Does that mean that there are situations when we go and dime that one of those dudes, probably Ramsey, will rotate to safety? A lot of things I'm looking forward to. But other than that, guys, I don't think I have any back. Oh, one other person that I'm forgetting. I want to wrap him in some bubble tape, bubble wrap, because I don't want him to get hurt. I want to see Roman Wilson. I want to see Roman Wilson with the bullets flying. How is he as a blocker, a ball catcher? That might be a pause. Want to see Roman Wilson in some real action, like, and hopefully not just training camp. I like to see this guy, man, get to a preseason. I like to see him get through some preseason games so we can get a gauge on what he is, what he's trending to be. And that's about it. Nobody else, man. Nobody else. I did see an article earlier today on Steelers Depot when they were kind of talking about, somebody reported that, you know, Corey Trice is, you know, mentally at his best coming into the third season. I don't want to forget him either. I do not want him to be forgotten in this whole Ramsey, Slay, and Joy Porter conversation. You know, it would not hurt my feelings. Would not hurt my feelings if Corey Trice was able to take Slay off the field. What I mean is, and this is not a disrespect to Darius Slay. Darius Slay has been a great player in the NFL, but he's an elder statesman. So what I'm saying is, if somehow we're talking about a combination of Joy Porter Jr., Corey Trice, and Jalen Ramsey in nickel, like in nickel package, oh, something has gone extremely right if Corey Trice is playing at that level. So it would not upset me at all. Oh, CT Pittman again. Round of applause, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread, sir. Yeah. He says, what are your thoughts on the Chuck Clark pickup? Ain't mad at that. Listen, Chuck Clark was a pain in the neck. You know, when he played for the Ravens, big hitter type of guy. I'm never mad at that. I'll be honest and say this, and I'm saying this with respect to the Baltimore Ravens. I'm never mad at a former Raven coming to the Steelers because we already know what they're about. We already know what they had to be, or at least inspired to be, aspired to be in playing in Baltimore, right? So I'm never upset with any player defensively that comes to the Steelers that played at Baltimore. I'm not mad at that at all. It is interesting, though, because it does make me wonder, because if I'm not mistaken, Chuck Clark is more of a strong safety, if I'm not mistaken. So it does make me wonder what the Steelers have in mind from a depth standpoint. And I would imagine, actually, I'm going to look this up, guys. Give me a second. Let me go to the Steelers website. I would imagine it is a depth piece because I don't think we have much behind Thornhill and company. Let's take a look. Let's see who's listed as a safety. I don't think there's much back there. Let me see who they got listed as DB, because you know sometimes they have DB tag on people. So as far as DB, there's a few of them. Chuck Clark is listed as a DB, not a bona fide safety, as well as some kid named Deshaun Jameson, Quindell Johnson, familiar with that name, Cameron McCutcheon, Kyler McMichael. Corey Trice is listed as DB. Interesting. And that's probably because Corey Trice has played in dime, as opposed to they're not listing him as a CB. The official CBs, Beanie Bishop, Brandon Echols. Brandon Echols is another guy I'm interested to see how he lands. James Pierre, Joy Porter Jr., Jalen Ramsey, and Darius Slay, and Dante Kent. Now, Dante Kent may have just bought himself some time because he is, you know, they list him as a punt returner / cornerback. I say that because Cordero Patterson is no longer with the Steelers. I don't know what took so long to cut him, no disrespect. But yeah, there's an opportunity for somebody to be the kick returner. So maybe that could be a way for Dante Kent to stick. If not, he's really going to have to impress. But like I said, they have Chuck Clark listed as a DB. And let's see who are the bona fide safeties. There's only 3 of them. Deshaun Elliott, Miles Killebrew, and Juan Thornhill. So there you go, folks. There you have it. That is the reason, in my opinion, for the Chuck Clark signing. Like I said, if I have my memory, if it serves me correctly, Clark is more of a, he's more of a strong safety. So we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, man. Other than that, guys, not anybody else that I'm really looking forward to hearing from. I see a couple of you guys did say Roman Wilson. G-Stack says Trice versus Wilson. Okay, that's an interesting pairing. But that's pretty much it, guys. Again, going back to physicality. I want to see what Caleb Johnson brings to backs on backers as well as team sessions. I want to see if Jalen Ramsey can still be that put his hands on you type of corner and play in your grill. Because again, if you listen to Joy Porter Jr., his interview recently, as well as Jalen Ramsey, these guys are talking like, yeah, the idea right now, and this kind of excites me, and Kenyon probably knows where I'm already going. The idea that they're kind of talking is like, now the Steelers might be able to line up and just play man. Now, again, you cannot play man all game. Sometimes you got to mix it up. But where I want the Steelers to get more physical and play more of a man defense is those short situations, those intermediate situations, the 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 6, where it's more than likely a passing down and the pass rush is coming hot and heavy. It makes me, feel like these are them times where we need to reduce all of that space, get up in their face and bump and run. You know what I mean? Like that little bit of time, that press and that bump buys you that much more time for the pass rush to get home. Just all it takes is a fraction of time to disrupt where they're trying to get to on their route. And that's all I ask for. So maybe this will allow the Steelers to do more of that, as well as blitz, because you have, quote unquote, more confidence on your back end. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But outside of that, man, that's all I got, man. Like I said, I don't have much. We'll have much more to talk about, man, now that training camp has started. Once the pads come on, once the conversation starts circulating about what's going on in training camp, and also once preseason hits, and we back in the fold, baby. So for the foreseeable future, and I told you guys I was going to give you all the update. The reason why we had to start the show tonight at 9 p.m. is because, of course, busy with sports with my son. Some of y'all might be happy to know, y'all know that he's been playing basketball. He's wrapping up 5th grade basketball. They actually have a championship game tomorrow. Locally here, they do a big summertime blacktop bash is what they call it. And a lot of the local area and even a little outside the area, teams are put together and they compete, and they have their championship game tomorrow night. He's going into the 6th grade, but I'll be happy to announce to some of y'all that somebody decided that they wanted to play football this year. Yeah. He's playing football, guys. His first practice was yesterday. For the first 3 weeks, their practice is Monday through Friday. And then their regular schedule will begin on August 18th. And their practices will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But here's the catch. Not only is he playing, your boy is an assistant coach. Oh, yeah. Coach Sim is in the building. So, yeah, man, this should be fun, man. This should be fun. I didn't want to do head coach, because, again, I've never, coached to that capacity or coached my own kid as far as in an organized situation. So I didn't want to just jump out the window and say, oh, I'm going to be the head coach. I'd rather help. So I'm one of the assistant coaches. Haven't been able to officially practice with them yet because in PA, you got to get all these different clearances. I'm waiting for one clearance to come back, and it should come back in the next couple days. But yeah, I'm going to be out there, man, helping to coach him up and the rest of the team. And yeah, Coach Sim in the building, baby. And it's crazy, man, because watching them tonight is like, I'm itching to I see a couple of the kids that I want to, lend my expertise to and help out any way I can. But it's very strict here, and it should be. When you're dealing with kids, you got to get a lot of clearances, and I'm waiting for the one clearance to come back. Then I'll be good to go. But yeah, man, Mark says, what position? Well, here's the funny thing. all the kids want to be the man, right? So he tells me, hey, Dad, I want to be a quarterback, right? And I'm like, I don't know, can you throw? He claimed he can throw. He play outside with the neighborhood kids. So last Saturday, we go to a football workout. Come and find out the boy got a little arm on him, right? He could throw the hitch route pretty good. But then when they went on the move, throw the ball a little bit behind him. But then when the coaches coached him up, was like, nah, you got to throw the way he's going. Start throwing some nice balls, right? So then I told him, I said, look, don't fix your dreams on that right now at 11 going into being 12. Like, don't just play where they want you to play. I said, if it's up to me, I got you at linebacker and running back. I got you at linebacker and running back. That's where I would put you right now. So your stat, everything about him, it screams that, right? So let me tell y'all this story. He goes out there yesterday, and the coaches are like, all right, we're going to split you guys up in different positions. He's like, now look, at this age, we don't have a whole lot of big kids. So some of you guys that think y'all are receivers and this and this and that, some of y'all are going to have to play on the line. So they asked, what position you guys playing? For whatever reason, he decides he gonna go with the receivers. Now, he could catch, he had some nice catches and so forth. But after practice, I said, hey man, why didn't you go to the running back line? Oh, I got confused because I thought they said to go this way. I said, yeah, but then once you found out you were in the receiver line, why didn't you correct it? I don't know. So today I told him, well, make sure that you are in the running back line. Today they only did defense. So they asked what position, what group you want to go with. He goes with the DBs. Now, he's doing decent. And then I saw one of the coaches talking to him, chatting it up to him. And then he was like, send him to the other line, to the linebackers. Right? So doing good over there, from what I saw, just little drills. So after the game, I said, after the practice, I said, what? Did you ask to go over there or did the coach tell you to go over there? And he said, nah, he told me to go over there. He said, he looked at me and was like, man, you got a nice frame. He said, I think you should be over there with the linebackers. I said, what did your dad tell you? What did I tell you? And let me tell y'all, looking at the drills, he going to be playing outside or middle. That's where he need to be. So all in all, guys, I told him what positions he should play. I even told him what formation and coverage that the team is more likely going to run. And lo and behold, the coaches said exactly what I told him. So there's that quick story. So yeah, guys, more than likely he's going to be linebacker and running back. But we'll see. Like I said, this is just the second day. They're just doing their heat acclimation now. Pads come on tomorrow, which him and a few others won't be there because they have the championship basketball game. But Thursday is his first day in them pads. And y'all know I've been giving him the prep talk. Hey, bro, you got to bring that heat. That's when you separate the young men from the little boys. He said he ready. He said he ain't got an ounce of fear. He ready to crack. And let me give y'all this quick story. So today they was doing getting your form. So they'd have like one guy with the ball go right or go left. And they had the two linebackers, strafe and go up to him as if you're going to hit him. During that session, he runs up on the boy real quick, real aggressive and kind of hit him in the chest a little bit, a little tap. And the coach said, hey. Don't worry, the pads come on tomorrow. That made him feel good. So I said, okay, bring that same heat when them pads come on and you'll be just fine. Because at their age, man, y'all know, the 11, 12-year-olds, at that age, whoever's willing to crack is the ones that are going to be successful. So there you have it. But yeah, man, your boy doing some minor league coaching. So this should be fun. But what else y'all got, man? Y'all got anything else before we roll? Yeah, Mark, the good old days. Look, he even asked me that on the way home. He said, "Man, so I didn't know, Dad, that you can play both ways. Do a lot of people do that?" I said, "At this level, yes. Middle school, yes. Maybe even high school." I said, "But let me tell you something. There ain't a lot of Travis Hunters. You don't see what he did in college. You don't really see that, and you definitely haven't really seen that in the NFL to that degree." I was like, and right now, yeah, that's very common. And here's the thing, y'all. He didn't want to be a linebacker at first because he was thinking he's thinking only TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, right? Again, he watches the games with me. So when he hears linebacker, he's thinking on the line. And I was like, nah, you can be off ball, especially at your grade. And I said, also, when the Steelers happen to run their base defense, which is 3-4, we stand up TJ and Highsmith. But he was just thinking, I don't want to be on the line, so I'm not going to say linebacker, not knowing that at his level, that's where you getting all the action, because that's what he said he want to do. He want to hit. That's where you gonna get all the action, especially outside, because kids at that age, all they do is run to the outside. Every play gets stretched. So, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, what else y'all got, man? Yeah, man, that's awesome, CT. It's awesome. That's all I can say. It is awesome. It will be awesome, man. It's a dream come true. To be able to, to watch your kid. And I'm not just gonna say son, because I would feel the same way if I had a daughter, but to be somebody who's so into sports and have played sports, to be able to watch my kid do it, and now football, be able to be on the field with him, it could almost be emotional. Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, we gonna see, CT. I told him we gonna see. A lot of people talk a good game, but when them crack, when them pads clickety clack, we gonna see. We gonna see who he is. And I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with him too. But I think he gonna like it, man. I think he is gonna like it. What else y'all got? Anything else, y'all? CT says, LB and running back, where I started in high school, switched to safety in college, man. I missed them days. Yeah, me too, man. And, was running back and linebacker mostly, did a little strong safety. Good old days, man. I often wish, man, what if I could have just, what I'm saying? If things could have worked out to have played football for a lengthy amount of time. But, it's like I tell him, everybody don't get that opportunity. Whether you play in college or don't play in college, and, there's many people who played high school sports that were great. Everybody doesn't get, the pool starts to shrink. College, and then it gets even smaller to think you're going to go to the league. And that's what I'm educating him with right now, letting him know, like, look, man, NBA, NFL, none of that is a promise. It shouldn't even be nothing that you rely on. You can have hopes and work hard, and maybe you turn out to be an excellent athlete and you get the right size and all that. Y'all know all of the politics, but don't always work like that. All right, man, if y'all don't have anything else Steeler related, I guess we'll get out of here. But that's all I got. So again, y'all, until at least through November, mid-November is when their season is over. So for the most part, we can pretty much say, man, for the next several months, Triple T, man, will be at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, we'll change it back when we can do it. But outside of that, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, of course. Thanks for always hanging in there with me, man. Thanks for the Wonder Bread that you guys posted here. CT was posting tonight. And all of you, some of you that actually send your Wonder Bread via Cash App, via PayPal. I don't want to forget y'all. I mean, it's easy to not mention it because it's done offline. So I never want to forget you guys who do that. So thank you. But outside of that, man, oh, hold on. Real question is, how does your wife feel? Well, let me tell you something, CT. That's the reason why he's just now playing. He expressed interest in it, man, I'll say about 2 years ago. And she was a little hesitant. And I understand. You know, I fully do. But she's a little more open to it now because I explained to her, I said, listen, at this age, it's better to let them play now, see if they like it and if they want to pursue it. At this young, youthful age, we can teach the real techniques, right? And that's going to make everything a lot safer. I mean, in any sport, you never know what could happen. That's just a risk anybody takes playing sports. But it's better to let them feel it out young and learn young instead of being 16, now they want to play. And y'all should see the helmets. Man, they got these air cushion joints, like nothing like what we had when we was in Pop Warner. At least me, speaking for guys in my age group, like it's crazy, dog. It is crazy. They are definitely trying to protect them, but yeah, you know, that's what's taking so long, CT and me personally, man, even though y'all know I'm a football fanatic, I wasn't gonna force it on my child. I've always said, and I continue to tell him, I'm going to support whatever it is that you do. Not going to force anything because I want him to have a real interest. And he showed a real interest in football. And luckily enough, you know, his basketball coach is on the board because the deadline had already happened for registration. So I mentioned it to him and he was like, you know what, let me reach out to someone that I know on the board. They reached out to someone else and then they contacted me and said, no problem, we can get you in. And there it is. So, but yeah, man, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. And y'all know the routine. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification. Outside of that, I hope each and every one of y'all know what I always say, same spill. God bless. Good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Like always, I thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. And I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.